Welcome to Today in Putnam County, hosted by Putnam County Mayor Randy Porter, the show that takes a look at the events and what's happening all around Putnam County, as well as interviews with local, community, and business leaders. And now, sharing his insights and experience, here's Today in Putnam County with County Mayor Randy Porter.
Thanks for joining us this week. I'm County Mayor Randy Porter, and this is Today in Putnam County. Our show this week is about Tennessee Tech football. I'm glad to have as my guest today Coach Bobby Wilder of the Tennessee Tech Golden Eagles and Wayne Cravens. He is the president of Cravens and Company Advisors, and we're going to work Wayne into this. He's playing a big part in Tennessee Tech sports now.
Playing an MVP-like role.
So I kind of said coach and quarterback
yes,
a little earlier. So we're gonna get Wayne involved here, and
I love these promotions.
Bringing value.
We're going to talk all about football and the schedule and the new stadium and all those kind of things. But the first thing I want to hit is the new portal and the NIL that is kind of engulfs college sports. And I know when I tried to understand it, Coach Wilder went down with me and explained it. And so what we want to do today is try to get you to where that you understand it. I know a lot of folks have been asking about it and what it's doing to college football. So, Coach, we're going to start with you, and let's talk about the portal and I think that started like back in 2018 or something, and kind of walk us through that and what that is and how that works.
Sure, absolutely. It's not unlike Randy, yourself, Wayne, myself. We're free to look for a job at any time. We can be hired, we can be fired. Think of the college transfer portal that way. It encompasses all sports and all athletes, not just football. Football is unique in that we have two portal windows. There's one in December, and there's one that we're currently in right now, and it allows for student athletes that might be at a school and maybe they're not getting to play, maybe they're not happy with that situation, and they're allowed to look for another school. Now, the catch is, if you're at a school and you're receiving a scholarship, once you go in the transfer portal, you forfeit your scholarship at that school.
Wow.
So you've got to be feeling really good about your opportunity. Not unlike us. If the three of us resign from our job today, you better be feeling really good about where you're going. So I look at the portal. There's a lot of coaches, a lot of folks that are upset with it. I look at it two different ways. Number one, same opportunity for them there is for us. And number two, I'll give you an example. We had three young men that left this spring, went in the portal. Well, one of them is going to be paid $400,000. The other one's going to be paid $200,000. The third, $100,000. So I'd be a hypocrite if I said to those players, you shouldn't leave, when if a school calls me tomorrow and offers me $10 million to go be their head coach, I'm out.
Yeah.
So let's not be hypocritical about this. It's an opportunity for young men, young women to potentially earn a better situation for themselves, some financially, some do it based on academics or ability to play in the sport. Correct.
And so with these players, they have two opportunities each year that if they're not happy with the school they're at, they go inside this portal, and that opens up for anybody to go after them?
That's correct. Yeah, you go into a national database, if you will. Think about it as a college athletics LinkedIn, where you can put your name and your information, your resumes out there for anybody to see, and then there's an opportunity for these student athletes to carry their credits, carry their education to another school, and go to that school and potentially graduate. So this started back, really got serious in 2020 with the inception of name, image, and likeness.
Yeah.
Like we have the Golden Eagle Collective that we just started this January. So there are opportunities for young men and young women to, number one, market their abilities. Not unlike what we do. We market our abilities in hopes of earning additional compensation, creating a better lives for ourselves. That's what's happening now with the young people. And the last thing I'll say on it is, you can be 18 years old and you can get drafted to go to war. Well, if you're 18 and you've got a skill set, you ought to have the opportunity to potentially earn value for yourself and your family.
Absolutely. So if they put their name out in the portal and they don't come up with a deal they like, do they lose their scholarship? or if they stay where they're at, do they get to keep it, or how's that work?
That's a great question. Yeah, you can look at all our sports at Tennessee Tech. We're all involved with this, and sometimes the young people go in the portal and they won't find the success. Then it's up to the individual coach. You can have them come back, and they can retain their scholarship, or maybe not. And I'll use what we do at Tennessee Tech football. We had 2 young men that went into the portal in December thinking there were going to be better opportunities. It didn't happen. They came back. So what they got, in essence, was a reduction in pay with the opportunity during this past spring semester, academically, socially, football-wise, to earn it all back, and both young men did. So I want it to be known throughout the team that you can do this. You can put your name in the portal, but just know we'll welcome you back. You're just not going to have the same deal.
Same deal.
You left the organization. You went for something better. You can come back. You can earn the right to be back on the team with your teammates, your coaches, but you're going to have to earn back whatever level of compensation you had. And so far, that's worked really well for us. I met with the captains about it. They approved of it. The coaches did. So different coaches around the country do different things. Some say if you go in the portal, that's it, you're done. You're out. You don't want to be here. We don't want you. I don't believe that teaches the right lesson to a young person, because they're going to go through what we've all experienced in our lifetime, that you just better be mindful if you're looking for another job, how is that going to affect your current job if things don't work out?
Sounds risky, Wayne, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, everything, nothing ventured, nothing gained, of course. But I want to be one quick clarification, make sure that we're all on the same page. When Coach is talking about compensation, he's talking about scholarships, potential cost of living, cost of attendance, and Austin money, things from the university. He's not talking about NIL funds.
Right, yeah. So big thing, probably the biggest news thing around in here in Tennessee was the UT quarterback, right?
Correct.
Goes out on the portal, think he's going to, and things don't go, I don't think, like he thought they were going to go, right?
Correct.
So that's the risk that these players are running when they do set themselves up in this, right?
And there's 130 FCS head coaches. There's 130 FBS. So there's 260 of us in football that deal with scholarships. And every friend I have that's a head coach in FCS and FBS, we were all applauding Josh Heupel and Tennessee for what they did. That was the first landmark occasion where a coach and a team said, enough's enough. We wish you the best. Yeah. But that's not what we're going to do here. And it was a hard move for Josh, because you're also talking about your quarterback position. Yeah. And as I learned in my past, nothing will get you fired quicker than if you don't have a good quarterback. So what Josh did was, it was brave, it was assertive, it sent a message really all across the country. Like, you're not going to hold a school hostage for the additional compensation. And hopefully it works out for the young man. He transferred out west to UCLA, and I'm even more hopeful that it works out for Josh in Tennessee. Yeah. I'm a Tennessee fan. I want them to win.
Absolutely. Me too. So are the colleges, the coaches, are they allowed to talk to the players before they go into the portal? So could that player know if he's going to have a good deal out there waiting for him before he actually goes into the portal, or is that off limits?
Yeah, great question. It's not supposed to happen. There are now agencies, third parties, that reach out to these players before any contact is initiated, especially at the level where schools like Ohio State, for example, they paid an estimated $50 million for their national championship last year. There's schools that are paying upwards of that dollar amount. So you're talking about large sums of money. There are third parties involved in the contact with these student athletes.
Out there trying to entice players, I guess, to get in. That's well, it's definitely changed college sports, hasn't it?
It has, and we've embraced it at Tennessee Tech. And I'm going to brag on Wayne Cravens. He volunteered about a year ago to get involved, to spearhead the Golden Eagle Collective. And I want to be really clear to your listeners, Randy, our kids aren't getting rich.
Right.
I mean, you're talking about a little extra gas money, maybe go to the movies, maybe buy your mom a gift here and there. But what has helped us is, to Wayne's point, President Oldham's investment in scholarships, cost of attendance, Alston academic-based aid, and now you throw in some additional sources from this Golden Eagle Collective. It's helped us not only retain our top players. We could have lost 12 players. We had 12 all-conference players approached. We lost 3. So 75% of our best players returned, and that's as good as anybody in the country did this year. And it's got a lot to do with what Wayne's doing. He works tirelessly at this. We have a lot of people supporting it. And it was President Oldham's blessing. He's the one that said, let's get this started a year ago, and then Wayne hopped in both feet, thank God.
We're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about the Golden Eagle Collective and the NIL and more on that, but we got to take a break. You're listening today in Putnam County. My guest today, Coach Bobby Wilder of Tennessee Tech football, and Wayne Cravens with Cravens and Company, and we're talking about the portal and the NIL and all kinds of things when it comes to football and sports. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
And now back to Today in Putnam County, hosted by Putnam County Mayor Randy Porter.
Welcome back to Today in Putnam County. I'm your host, County Mayor Randy Porter. Hope you're having a great week. Our show this week is on Tennessee Tech football. If you're going to talk TTU Golden Eagles, you got to talk Coach Bobby Wilder, and he's with us today. And we're talking about the portal and the NIL and how it's changed college football. Also got Mr. Wayne Cravens with Cravens and Company. He's the president of that company, and he's helped start something called the Golden Eagle Collective that we're going to get into now, Wayne. So we got this portal out there where all these players can go in and look for better opportunities out there. And then you got the NIL, where basically is the athlete's image, right, or what he can sell of himself. And so all this has come about, and Coach did a great job of explaining the portal and everything, but what made you want to get involved in this? And I know you're a big TTU fan and have been for years. You're on the board of trustees of the College of Business, and you've been involved. But what made you want to get into this football side of it and this Golden Eagle Collective?
Well, I'm a proud alumni of Tennessee Tech football, and have enjoyed the relationships that I built there too long ago to mention, but continue to maintain them.
What position did you play, Wayne?
I played safety.
Safety.
Yeah.
And you've got a big picture in your office, don't you, of your winning plays and all that stuff?
Somebody must have taken that down because I'm missing that.
I'm kidding. Those are some good years, though, weren't they?
Well, actually, they were some great years for me as a human being, as an individual, but not so much for Tennessee Tech as a football team. And there are a lot of us, coaches, quantified that in conversation, where we've been mediocre would be a euphemism, where Tech football has been, with the exception of the early 70s.
Yeah.
And I think there are a lot of reasons that's the case. It hasn't been for lack of effort on the players' behalf. I don't think it's been for lack of effort on the coaches' behalf. But I think there are a number of components that must converge in order to elevate teams to championships, and especially to do that consistently. And I'll say that I was honored to be a part of a roundtable when Coach Wilder was hired, and it was clear to all of us in that room that he had a very acute understanding of what those elements are, and he was, came prepared to share that, and that's what he has undertaken and executed since he's been on campus, for sure.
Have you ever met anybody with any more energy than him?
No. I've accused him of not having light switches on in his house because the lights
always
stay on.
Always, he's good. So you had this NIL on the portal and everything, and Tech needed to have some funds to be able to compete, right, on that side. So how did this collective come about, where you're allowing folks to join and do it?
Well, the collective, of course, didn't start with Tennessee Tech. We saw this boulder running down the road, and really Phil Oldham and I, Dr. Oldham and I, began talking about it, and we looked. He shared with me that ETSU had started a collective. Our good friend Otis Phillips was so involved, and when Phil asked me if I would get involved, and in the back of my mind, I could hear Otis talking to me, and I knew it would have been Otis, and so I felt compelled to try to, as best as one can, take up the cross and carry that Otis had been carrying so much. So I'm just trying to be a part of that.
So explain to our listeners and viewers how the collective works and how they can be a part of it.
Well, first of all, the collective is just what it says it is. It is a collective of players, fans, and sponsors in the form of businesses that appreciate the value of a student athlete's name, image, and likeness. And I look back at Tennessee when Peyton Manning was involved.
Yeah.
And Peyton Manning didn't get paid anything for attending Tennessee except for the scholarship that he earned. And the amount of attention that drove to Knoxville, Tennessee, and Tennessee as a state, and University of Tennessee was amazing.
Yeah.
So we know that athletes are important in our society. We have a voracious appetite for winning sports of all kinds. And so the name, image, and likeness component is just reflective of that desire of fans, of businesses, to want to be aligned with athletes and with sports teams that are successful. So the collective is a independent organization, independent of the university, though we work in tandem with the coach, with the coaches and the university. And we try to help businesses and individuals support their teams through building sponsorships and building memberships where players can benefit from funds, and fans and sponsors can actually be involved with aligning their brand, being involved in events, having certain types of other benefits. Perks.
Yeah. So, Coach, how big has this been for Tennessee Tech to see this collective started?
It's been enormous from the standpoint of, I mentioned earlier, we had 12 players that were approached, our best players. Well, 9 of them stayed.
Wow.
75% of them, they're not staying without the collective.
Yeah.
The amount of compensation they could have received elsewhere, we wouldn't have been able to keep them. And then also the ability to sign the players we just did in December that joined us for the spring semester and spring ball. We signed 15 at that time. We've just now signed another 15 in April. So it's been impactful from the standpoint it allows us to be competitive. And as I mentioned earlier, Randy, these kids aren't getting rich.
No.
But it allows us to be competitive. Our goal, Randy, the big picture, there's 130 schools in FCS, North Dakota State, 10 of the last 14 national champions. We estimate their collective and their assistance from the campus is about $1 million.
Wow.
So we're looking to be in that $600,000 range this year. The goal is to catch them next year.
Yeah.
If we're going to be the best team in America and win a national championship,
you got to have the funds to do it.
And that's the vision. That's President Oldham's vision. That's mine. That's Wayne's. And Tennessee Tech football needs to now put themselves at that level.
Right.
That's where we want to go. So this has been very supportive of allowing us to not only keep our best players, but recruit some of the best in the country to Tennessee Tech.
Absolutely. Wayne, anybody can be a part of this, right?
Anybody can, and that's why it is so open and valuable to a community. I mean, the thing that can drive can drive NIL collectives the most are the masses.
Yeah.
So as you noted, we have memberships, and the memberships begin as low as $20 a month. And go up from there, and each different level has different things associated with it, which will include the opportunity to have club seats or a suite in the new stadium that is being built right now. And so we are trying to meet the demand that's being placed on us by the national football, not just the OVC. And we've had a great response from numerous businesses, and we're really looking forward to promoting those businesses and their brands alongside our athletes, our coach, the collective. We know that there's a tremendous amount of appetite for that.
Yeah.
So we're asking not just for support, but we're asking them to make an investment that has quantifiable outcomes.
Yeah.
And, no one wins more than that for our community when Tech has enrollment gains. We know that there's a correlation there. And so I think it's definitely a rising tide can lift all boats.
Win. They got a great website. You need to check it out. It's goldeneaglecollective.com. You can go on. You can actually enroll and become a member. And like I said, it starts at $20 a month and goes up from there depending on what level you want. And so check it out. It's a good deal for Tennessee Tech. It's a good deal for the players. And it's a good deal for our community because there is no doubt our community would not be what it is today without Tennessee Tech.
I'll make one quick comment about it. Wall Street Journal this morning talking about college enrollments. And since 2015, quoted Tennessee, since 2015 to 2023, University of Tennessee's up 30% in enrollment. The other 10 combined regional universities down 3%.
Yeah.
Now, ask yourself, since Josh Heupel, baseball, basketball, there's definitely a reason that that University of Tennessee's up in enrollment.
Absolutely.
But if we can add 10% to Tennessee Tech's enrollment, you've seen the numbers, Randy.
Absolutely.
It's massive for our community.
It absolutely
Tennessee
is.
Tech's up next.
That's right. We got to take a break. We're going to talk more about Tennessee Tech football and talk about the upcoming season and the schedule and a lot more going on with football with Coach Bobby Wilder and Wayne Cravens. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
And now back to Today in Putnam County, hosted by Putnam County Mayor Randy Porter.
Welcome back to Today in Putnam County. I'm your host, County Mayor Randy Porter. Hope you're having a great week. This week's show is about Tennessee Tech football. I'm honored to have Coach Bobby Wilder of the Golden Eagles with us today, along with Wade Cravens. He's the president of Cravens & Company here in Cookeville. And we've been talking about the portal, NIL, and this new thing called the Golden Eagle Collective, where you can be a part of sports at Tennessee Tech. And, Coach, let's talk about the upcoming season. I was looking at the schedule, and 7 home games this year. I mean, that's great, isn't it?
It is. Very excited. Randy, I'd be remiss if I didn't say thank you to you on behalf of myself, a new, in the last 17 months, resident of Cookeville. Your leadership, the county, the city leadership, what a great place to live. I mean, I absolutely love living in Cookeville. Just an honor to be here. And speaking to the schedule, wow, could not be more excited. To give you a little background, last year we had 5 home games, 7 away. We opened at Middle Tennessee and at Georgia. Got 12 of our best players hurt. Our quarterback, we started 2-5, and then won our last 5 to finish 7-5, 6-2.
Great ending.
Yeah, tied for the league. The challenge was only having 5 home games, 7 away. This year, now we're 7 home games, only 5 away. So the advantage is the first 3 are at home. We want to pack Tucker Stadium as best we can.
Right.
Excited about some new ideas, new visions we have there. But this schedule sets up for us to be a much better football team. Bottom line, to get in the 24-team national championship tournament, we start with 130. It gets down to 24. You've got to win at least 8 games.
Yeah.
You have to have that. We were 7-5 last year. We missed it by one game. So you got to win at least 8. Having 7 home allows us an opportunity to have more success. It's hard to win on the road. You're basically moving a small army somewhere.
Yeah.
Much easier to have success at home with your own fans. So beyond excited with this schedule we've got in place for 2025.
What's the team looking like this year? Did we lose many from last year? Are you bringing several of them back? How's that working?
Yeah, we return almost all of our best players from last year. I mentioned we lost 3 of our top guys into the portal, kept 75% of the other players that had received all conference. Very excited with the players we've signed. Just had a fantastic spring practice. We had 15 practices in March and April. Players are coming back this week and next week for the summer training. We have been ranked as high as number 19 in the nation preseason rankings. A lot of this is the national media that saw us win our last 5 games, saw all the players that stayed, and then they followed who we signed, the players that we brought in. For example, quarterback Keikoa Vesperis from Eastern Washington that enrolled in January, led the nation last year in completion percentage. So now we've got on our roster a player who completed 74% of his passes last year, playing in the Big Sky, the best conference in FCS in the country. So the national media saw this and ranked us as high as 19. And the goal is this year, Randy, is to compete to win our league championship. That's always the number one goal, win the OVC, because you get an automatic bid, and to get into the 24-team national championship tournament in December.
You always last year it was Georgia, I guess. You always got to play one of the big teams, the money game, I guess.
Yeah, that's what it is.
All to hip. I mean, you can't have athletics if you don't do those. Where's that game at this year?
We play Kentucky this year, November 15th, which is what the SEC does is their week before rivalry week, before Tennessee and Vanderbilt play in Alabama, Auburn. They generally, all of them play an FCS opponent. So we'll play at Kentucky November 15th, get a nice $500,000 payday for athletics, and hopefully we can go in there and represent ourselves well and get everybody on the bus healthy on the way home.
Well, and the good thing is, I mean, you hit Georgia right in the beginning of the season last year. Kentucky's is further down, almost to the next to the last game. That's got to be good, right?
I'm hoping Coach Stoops and the team aren't really paying attention that week. That's the goal. Be focused on Louisville, their rivalry game the next week.
It's looking like a good schedule.
It is, very excited and grateful to President Oldham. He's the one that helped put that all together, because that's an investment.
Yes,
you
absolutely.
Have to invest, and then you got to do a good job with your home games and get people there and get them excited, and that's the goal.
He's been a jewel for Tennessee Tech, anyway.
I don't know who could argue that point.
Amazing, isn't it?
In the time that I've been here, we have had wonderful gentlemen, wonderful presidents, Bob Bell before him. But in terms of what has changed about that campus, and now the focus on helping build up the sports at the university to help the university to continue to be viable long term in a competitive world, he's done an amazing job.
Yeah, Tennessee Tech, of course, I was there many years ago, and you know, we went a lot of years, and I guess most campuses probably didn't change a lot back in the 80s in that area, but all of a sudden, I mean, in the last 10 years, it's been amazing at Tennessee Tech, and how the campus has changed. Yeah. And a lot of that goes back to being able to secure those funds from the state legislature to be able to build all those buildings.
Just the last 12 years, he and his team, a lot of people involved, you included, have secured $750 million in funding for campus renovation. I've been doing this 34 years. This is one of the most beautiful campuses I've ever been on. I've been all over the country to college campuses, and I said this before, Randy. I've in 34 years, I've never worked with a president that sees the entire chessboard like he does. Yeah. He sees all the moves for a campus, for community, for sports being involved, for proper growth, enrollment, alumni. Sees the entire chessboard better than anybody I've ever worked with.
Yeah, he is great. He's been great for Tennessee Tech. We've got a couple minutes left. Talk about Mark, our athletic director, resigned. Talk a little bit about that and where that's at and what's going on right now.
Yeah, Mark's going to have a tremendous legacy when everybody looks
21 years.
Yeah, when everybody looks back at how Tennessee Tech was athletically when he arrived to where we are now, and the goal moving forward now. The president has hired one of the top search firms in America, Turner Associates. There's three big ones that hire ADs, head coaches for any sport, and this is one of the big ones, Turner Associates. And this is a very attractive job right now. You look at the success we had this year in sports. You got football, women's soccer, women's basketball, baseball's won 39 games. You've got success on the field and success in the classroom. I'm going to brag a minute. 90 football players this spring. The highest grade point average for a semester in 54 years. We had a 3.15 grade point average. And all the sports succeed in the classroom. So this is a very attractive job for a person to look and say, you got a president that supports, you got winning teams, they get good grades, you got an unbelievable community. Yeah. I feel strongly we're going to get a quality candidate in here to lead us.
Win-win situation, isn't it? Well, kudos to Mark and all he did for all those years. That is for an athletic director, that's a extremely long term, and you don't see that in a lot of ADs. I mean, things change and everything so fast. Wayne, What do you think? What's Tennessee Tech look like in the next 5 or 10 years? Is it as good as I think it is?
Randy, I think if I had to pick one or two, just focus points for this community over the next 5 to 10 years that's going to have an enormous amount of impact, I see the success of Tennessee Tech athletics, the stadium, everything that's going into this being one of the top two easily. And I believe change happens slowly and then it happens suddenly. And I think all the components are in place right now, coming into place. And we need the fans. We need the community
to turn
out and support the team. We need to have an exciting game day and tailgates, and we need your support at the Golden Eagle Collective to help us keep our top players, help them out. I'm telling you, as you said, Coach, they're not getting rich. If those of you who are either have been an athlete or have had one as a child know that there's not enough time in the day to work an extra job. So this helps them out, and so I think our town is only going to get better from here.
I do too. If you want to be a part of the Golden Eagle Collective, go to that website, goldeneaglecollective.com, and you can join for as little as $20 a month and help out TTU athletics. Guys, thanks for being on the show. You've been great.
Thank you, Randy.
Good luck, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Looking forward to a great season.
Thank you for all you do.
Thanks. Thanks for joining us. Hope you have a great rest of your week. May God continue to bless Putnam County.
You've been listening to Today in Putnam County, hosted by Putnam County Mayor Randy Porter.